Ursuga, sit down. Hey, Wantrans here. We're back at it again this week with another raid, Shadow Legends Platinum Arena Reset push. This is my 5th one now of the installment of series that I've been doing. And I just wanted to do a quick thank you to everybody who's been sticking around and watching these reset videos. It really gives me motivation to continue making reset videos, and above all things, wake up at 3 AM in the morning for you guys and grab this footage. So, we're again, like last week, going to be talking about things I did right, things I did wrong, things that I could have done differently to potentially bring out a better outcome. And hopefully these points help bring your A game when it's time for you to do your platinum push in the following resets. So right away, we're about 20 minutes into reset. I pushed about 10 minutes prior, just as a warm-up, and we're just quickly going through and I think making an adjustment to my defense now, because just as the video started, I checked my defense log and I noticed that it wasn't holding, so I noticed that, hey, I'm going to make a change, because this reset in particular, I had 2 different defenses in mind, and I wanted to give both a fair shot, but it looked like just starting off there, the previous Gurgo, Cardinal, CP, and Warlord defense was not holding whatsoever, so we make a quick change here, and I think that's a good tactic to have. Have 2 separate defenses, fairly different in your arsenal, coming into reset, ideally written down on a piece of paper like I did, just so that during the heat of the reset, you're not scrambling to think of what exact composition to use. So you make those thought processes and accommodations beforehand, and you know exactly what your game plan is going in. So here you'll see I'm using my Kymar Duchess double Rotos combo, and unfortunately I think I missed some sleeps here on that Ursuga. So she gets an ally protect from the Necrit, which makes her unable to be targeted, and then she's soaking damage from the other units just from her passive. So it's really not ideal, and unfortunately those sleeps were missed, again as I said. Otherwise this combo actually works fairly well at initially first targeting out the Ursuga with a one-shot from the Rotos A3, and then I can follow up and finish off the rest of the revivers after a Kymar reset. So we're just unfortunately slowly chopping down here now at the enemy units due to all the ally protect all across the board here. But thankfully, the good part about Rotos compositions is that they're very fail-safe for the most part, especially against these no damage teams here. So even though it didn't go perfectly according to plan due to bad resist RNG, you can still safely pull out the win no problem, even despite all these debuffs that Ursuga just flopped on my Rotos here. So we're targeting Duchess here, thankfully do enough damage to finish her off, and then I'm quickly trying to lap around here and just finish off the CP, and then essentially this team is a done deal. So we're looking already upwards at around a minute, which is not great, but we're finishing off here. As you can see, 200k from that Rotos. So Rotos surely can hit like a truck if built properly. So we see another team here with an Ursuga and Duchess, and I try not to go AoE style against these teams because of the shared damage from the Ursuga, and unfortunately this Ursuga is so dang slow that the reaction still managed to proc there. So it wasted one of my Rotos' A3s. But we're doing a quick comeback here. Lucky 2 counterattacks there, just knock out that Candrathon, and then we finish up that Rector Draft there without a weak hit. So that was perfect. Avoid that Ursuga team, too high resist for my Kymar. Move on here, we see another one. And then this one is actually not the best pick, because when you have 3 revivers and you're using like a double Rotos type of composition, it's too many reviving. Even though I am able to like one-shot people one at a time, it's just that they're gonna slowly come back one by one. So unfortunately I didn't do enough damage there to finish off that Duchess, so that means that Duchess is gonna be reviving everybody and they're gonna have to rinse and repeat and waste more time. So this was just like a bad choice of an opponent to pick. with this Rotos team, but still no big deal. It's a guaranteed win, as there is, again, no damage on this team whatsoever, so absolutely zero threat. We're just trying to finish off and knock off that Duchess there. Her Swift Parry procs finally. And we have a bunch of Ally Protect. Finish off that Ursuga finally. And then I think that Duchess already used her revive, so we're just trying to lap back around here now. Trying to knock off that new Duchess that I believe still had a revive active. So we're just putting this slowly on auto and targeting the one Duchess there. Thankfully, Rector Draft is not an AoE reviver, so in this case you always want to try to knock out the AoE revivers first, because they're the most troublesome, especially against Roto style offenses. So again, we try to use this against a Vogoth Ursuga team. Normally speaking, Ursuga plus Vogoth is bad news for an AoE style offense team to go against. And this Ursuga, again, very slow, probably has 2 reaction accessories there. Or I probably got unlucky, but either way, I should say. Kind of negated both my A3s there from Rotos, but thankfully there's actually no reviver on this team, so I'm able to quickly just finish up that Vogoth there, snipe out that Lydia, and then we just got that Tormund left. So still not bad, 43 seconds given the current reaction and Swift Parry meta. It's certainly acceptable. So we see noobs here, low resist team again. So I'm going to safely go in with my fast speed time arm. Do a quick sleep here. And then it's super satisfying to be able to one-shot that Ursuga, because she was my nemesis last reset, and it's just really satisfying to watch her die in one shot. Unfortunately here we get a Swift Parry proc on this Siphi, so this is going to slow down my battle a little bit here, and unfortunately I'm unable to finish off that Siphi there due to the soaking of damage from that Ursuga. Because I think when Ursuga has Ally Protect plus Guardian Set plus her passive, if my math is correct, she's soaking 80% of that damage there, so it's no surprise that that A3 essentially did no damage to that Siphi. So we're just trying to slowly knock out that Siphi, and once she's gone, essentially this team is a goner. So again, a little bit unlucky. If I was not to proc that Swift Parry on that Siphi, this battle would have gone down much differently, probably been a very quick 20 or so second battle. And then AI was a little bit dumb there, decided to attack Warlord instead of Ursuga, but it's not a big deal. My other Rotos finished it off, and we're just cleaning up now. Again, unfortunately, a 1 minute battle, and then we're down to like the 12 minutes left of reset, and I'm deciding that I should start to put that Rotos team to rest, because they are technically a little bit of the longer battles, and I should probably go back to my speed team. So this reset in particular, I decided to come in with a new approach. Last reset I had a lot of troubles because I was more in experimental mode, and I wanted to really test my clanmates' defenses, but it goes to show that, as you'll see, based on the placement I placed during this reset, and my approach of just purely attacking teams I'm comfortable in attacking, and not risking to attack anything or any teams that I fear will have adversity in terms of bad RNG, just like particularly those super high resist teams, the outcome of the battle would be much, much different, and more so to your benefit in terms of a higher placement. I accidentally attacked a mad member there, so I'm gonna make a note of that and apologize after reset there. Sorry to Diablo. And then again, we're trying to use as much as possible quick farm teams now with AoE style combos. I think in this reset in particular, there's a lot less mad members showing up on my list. I'm not sure if it's just because there's less mad members pushing now, which is honestly not a surprise, because with the advent of the whole disclosure of cheat engine and the reaction meta being just really non-favorable and non-enjoyable to a lot of players. I don't think there's a lot of people that still have a lot of motivation to push in Platinum Arena currently. So that said, I did notice a lot less players from MAD this reset, and as a result there was a lot more teams that I was able to hit successfully without doing a ton of refreshes. And then we're moving forward here now, seeing another team here, Siphi Valkyrie team, so I counter it with my Kymar Valkyrie team, which is very basic counter for me, and thankfully their Duchess was able to take her turn there, so reaction is off the entire team, and I'm able to one-shot all of them, do a quick reset, and we'll just repeat and finish off the team here, because unfortunately Duchess managed to get her revive off due to Swift Parry. I'll use A3 for quick cleanup, just slightly not enough damage to finish that Duchess off, but since her revive is gassed out, I'm just waiting to lap around on my Trunda here to finish her off. So still around a 41-second battle, which is quite long actually, and since I have actually changed my defense there, I noticed that my points are a lot more stable. You notice Lil Wheel's old account there, didn't want to attack him, although he's actually part of a different clan now. I believe Immortal Hordes 1 used to be part of MAD, but I think they've separated recently, so I'm not sure exactly what the in and outs about that is, but I just thought that because it was a high resist team, I don't want to resist or hit that RNG and potentially get resisted, and getting a battle delayed, especially at around crunch time now with 8 minutes or so left. So we see finally a Hegemon team, so I'm gonna bring in my Immunity Molly counter team against it. So we bring in that Provoke. Thankfully that Siphi managed to get her turn there, and very tactically I decide to A2 her because she's already finished getting her turn, and by using the Trunda A2 on her, the splash damage across everyone will be maximized. And as you can see there, that Duchess, although I believe she had a little bit higher HP because she didn't get her turn off there, she still had the reaction on her. So, and then consciously I decided to save the AoE there because I knew probably she had Swift Parry on her as well. So I wanted to just test it out, see if I can kill her with my A1, and if not, at least if the Resurgent Mastery procs on her, as I was doing enough damage that if the Provoke fell off her and she revived, I would still have my AoE saved. And thankfully that Provoke stayed, so I was able to finish her up without a revive. And then we're just quickly going back to my solo, not solo, but soulless rinse and repeat combo here. Thankfully this reset, a lot of times the Duchesses were just quick enough to go before my soul is gone, and I think that Tormund there is a high HP, like a very damage soaking build. I think there's Guardian set on him, which is interesting because it's one of the first times I've seen Tormund being used in a Guardian set, so it's refreshing to see new ideas being used. Then we see a super high resist style Warlord team here, I believe. Actually no Warlord, just a pure stall ally protect style team. So I bring in my higher accuracy Kymar, able to reliably strip most of them. And for some reason there, I think that Duchess had deflection set on her. So the debuffs from my Madame there didn't fall on her, and as a result I wasn't able to finish her off. But thankfully, the AI was a little bit dumb, which will soon be adjusted for when the new AI patch comes out, is that Duchess tends to not revive when there's only one unit fed, and tends to decide to Veil instead. So that's certainly something to watch out for and adjust to your defense Duchesses when the AI patch comes out so that she always revives instead of putting Veil on. Which, honestly, I think in that case was a bit meaningless. So we're against the basic, more fragile, speed-based Warlord defense here. again, at this point in time, because there's only very few minutes left in reset, I'm deciding to just purely go off very comfortable teams and just use my Solus. And it looks like, if I remember correctly, this team I actually run into a little bit of trouble here due to some resists, I believe, and just overall the ally protections from the very fast Necrit. So it's able to save Siphi and that Arbiter from death. So I just paused it for a quick sec, unsure if my Solus A3, the AoE, is enough to finish off the rest of the team. And unfortunately with that defense up from Siphi, it was not. So we're a little bit gassed out here now because my Solus, I've used both AoEs, but just hoping that my Trunda, not my Trunda, but my Solus A2 there would finish and pick the right units off. But unfortunately it decided to land the attacks on Arbiter and Necrit, so Siphi's still being alive here. So we're just trying to slowly lap back around, and the Necrit is really reliably able to keep that Siphi alive and safe from death. So I just noticed there that I just had one more turn left on my Kaimar's reset skill. And luckily I actually managed to get a stun off there, so I'm able to reset here, quickly do a strip, and quickly just decide to sleep the Arbiter there, and then finally we finish the battle off. But it's a 1 minute 30 battle due to bad RNG at the beginning. And then we're back here against another classic double revive Warlord team. And with the advent of the new AI patch, I'm expecting to see just tons and tons of Warlord and Kaimar defenses, because when they're able to use their skills properly at the right times, they're going to be like most biggest nuisance for defenses. So we quickly just decided to save my AoE there, knock out that Duchess in case with parry procs. And then we finally finish off that Tormund there. Fairly quick battle. We noticed Mac Chan there. Funny, Mac Chan actually did not do any active pushing this reset, but his defense alone is just keeping him up in pretty high plat, and it's crazy how he's still showing up on my list. Normally, I've tried skipping resets in the past and just rely on my defense to keep me in plat, and all the times in the past it's been unsuccessful, mainly because of everybody pushing. Even though if people don't attack you and don't fail against your defense, you get points. Just the overall border is just moving up so drastically that you'll fall out of plat just naturally because your points aren't increasing relative to everybody else. But especially with the advent of the AI patch, I believe there are going to be some type of defenses that are just unstoppable. Or if not unstoppable, just the layer of RNG on it is just so strong that finally you're actually able to just skip resets and just have you passively finish in plat due to a very strongly built defense. So again, I decided to attack the same team that I've been stalled for in the past because of that fast Necrit, saving that Siphi and Arbiter from death. So ideally, I should have brought a Trunda in here. It would have been more ideal in this case because I'd be able to A2 that Necrit and the splash damage will finish everybody off. But I've actually recently deconstructed my Savage Trunda and put the Beskir in my Roto, so she wasn't an option for me this reset. I think we're down to like the last minute or so, and we're just looking for swift teams here that I'm able to beat. And I get very unlucky here, and the Siphi and that Krisk there unfortunately resist my Madame, even though my Madame is like at 800 almost accuracy, and this team, if I remember correctly, when entering only had about like 300k power with a speed aura. So for sure, I know that they resisted purely off bad luck, because based on that power value, I know that this team is not high resistance based, and based on the difference between my accuracy and their resist, there's no way that they were built in high resist so that it reliably actually resisted me. So if you're thinking about like what's the chances of like a 3% resist occurring twice across the board against two units, I don't know. If anybody is like really good at statistics, you'd probably tell me, but if I were to quick guess, I would think that it's honestly probably around like less than 1% chance of it happening. Maybe 1 in 1,000 chance. And for it to happen to me just as my last like minute in reset, it's just very unlucky. I know for sure that I'm going to be stalled in this battle now until the end of reset, because there's no miracle that can happen for me to finish this battle and squeeze it in before reset. And unfortunately, if this did not happen, I probably would have been able to squeeze probably 2 more victories in on offense. So now I'm just waiting it out, essentially. I'm just waiting for reset to finish, push out the placements for everybody, and make sure I don't quit this battle, I should say, prematurely, so that I don't actually end up taking a loss in points before all the positions are placed for everyone. So I believe my offense was actually perfectly flawless this reset, with the exception of this battle being a major stall for me towards the end. And I do end up actually finishing this battle off because I'm skeptical as to how long of a delay on the server side it takes for them to roll out the final placements for everyone, so I just want to be better safe than sorry. So here I decide to use my A2 here, and luckily I get the provoke off on that Warlord and Siphi, and I'm able to finally do a strip here. And then my Solus is almost dead there. Do a clutch sleep there, save my Solus from dying, and then finally I finish up, no swift parry procs. And unfortunately, of course, this battle did not count because it took 3 minutes to finish. And of course, Plarium never has a leaderboard during the end there. We take a quick look at my defense log. Notice that Packus there was unsuccessful at attacking me in the beginning, but he adapted and took a bunch of points in from me towards the end. We'll notice that during the beginning there, when I had my initial defense, it wasn't holding, and then when I switched it to my secondary defense, it did really well, with the exception of some guys who found a decent counter to me right towards the end. So still around 50%, I would say, win rate on defense, which is very good in top plat. And then luckily, I'm able to make redemption this week and finish back in my regular top 10 placements. We take a quick look at my pieces here. Useless glove, bad shield, okay boot, and okay boot. Unfortunately, those are deflection sets. I'd say that's an okay weapon, bad chest, bad boot again, and bad weapon. So I'm very pleased with our 9th finish this week. I'm able to finish back in my comfortable and consistent top 10 placements that I usually do every week. Especially compared to last week, I think there's proof in the pudding that if you're attacking teams and making very smart choices in terms of who you want to attack during offense, and especially during the last 10 minutes of reset, then it makes a huge difference overall during your final placements and the amount of points you're able to walk away with during reset. So even though it may seem boring to be just using the one same offense team, I think that it's clear that it's the best strategy to maximize your ranking during the Platinum reset. Anyways, I hope that this video gave you some extra insight on your own Platinum pushes and potentially helped you notice some flaws in your defenses if I did attack it, and help you improve your game for your future resets. Thanks again for sticking around with me for another weekly Platinum reset push video, and I'll see you again in the next one next week. WANTRANS out.